Moving across the country. Dear Bill Burr. Bill, I think your podcast, thank you. Okay. I just turned 23 years old a few months ago, and I realized I have lived in the West Michigan town. I've officially lived in the Western Michigan town I live in for more than half my life. Can you guys please try to proofread your shit? This is his sentence. Okay, so I turned 23 a few months ago, and I realized I have lived in the West Michigan town. I've officially lived in the Western Michigan town I live in for more than half my life. All right, so he's definitely editing as he wrote this and just kind of fucked that up. This crushed me. Why, because you're living in Western Michigan? I like it out there. Well, you got to move to the big city? This crushed me, so I began saving up as I wanted to live in Portland, Oregon. Good choice. I've always been musical, and I want to go do the band thing, but I have an associate's of science degree. So if that doesn't work out, I can go back to school. But in Portland, after establishing I'll go back to school in Portland after establishing residency. All right, so you got a plan here. My question to you is this: how much do you think I should save up with the plan to live minimally and just work a job / play music? I've never felt I could express myself here as I am isolated, and since the town is small, high school follows you everywhere, in which I was a total weirdo / loser. Thanks, and go love yourself. All right. I totally relate. Like, I was a loser too in high school, so there was that element of like going to Boston to try stand-up comedy. And I remember whenever I would get a gig anywhere near where I was from, I'd be so nervous that my entire high school class would show up and they wouldn't laugh and be like, dude, you're that jackass we went to school with. Who are you to think that you could make this dream come true? Go fuck yourself, right? So I totally understand all of that. And I also worked a day job, and I saved up money before I moved to New York. I paid off all of my debts. I just paid it down. I paid down everything, and I saved up some money, and then I moved to New York. And I went there thinking I got to get a day job, and but I had enough money where that wasn't, it wasn't dire. Like, I got to get a job right now. I could actually go a few months. So I started getting some stand-up gigs. So even though it was negative cash flow, it wasn't 100% negative. Like, say I think my rent, I swear to God, I had a walk-through bedroom. My rent was, it was $425 a month. This is 20 years ago. And, but I mean, I had no spots. I had no gigs. So I think I did a couple of road gigs, went probably back to Boston, maybe did a Dick Doherty gig or something, and I probably made, I don't even know, I probably made like $300, $375 for the weekend, but I also had to travel up there, and I took the bus, and I had to eat, so I was probably, and pay taxes on it eventually, so I mean, I was probably walking away with $125, so I probably had, and plus all the other eating, living, every time you walked outside New York, it's like you blew $20, so, I watched my nest egg start to dwindle. But after a couple months, I stopped thinking about a day job. I just started thinking, I got to get more gigs. And I got to get more gigs. And then what happened was I was able to kind of slowly stop the nosedive of cash to level it off a little bit. And then I booked some acting gig or something where I was able to make enough money, and I just stashed it. And at that point, then I got a college agent. It just all starts to happen. You know what? A guy I brought up on this podcast before, Mike Johnston, MikeLessons.com. I'll try to find the video for you, but he's got this great video that he does where he talks about, or maybe it was when I went and I saw him live. I think it was when I saw him live, so I'll paraphrase what he said. But when he wanted to make money as a musician, he just totally, like even his day job, he just stayed in the music arena. I'm really going to butcher this story, but he started giving drum lessons, all right? So that was money he was earning as a drummer. He started working at a music studio, tuning up the drums and that type of thing. So that was two-way, and then he got into, a couple of bands, and he had a couple gigs on the weekend, so that was 3-4 different ways that he was making money as a drummer, and you just keep doing that. So when you're out there, I would just make it all about music. If you get a job at fucking Guitar Center or something like that, you can get a discount on some of your equipment, and then you can also get to know guys, and you can start talking to people like, I want to get into a band, join a couple of fucking bands. I mean, I would do all of that shit. And then also you can get a discount on all the recording stuff that you need if you're going to start writing songs. I would just keep getting jobs in the music industry, because it seems to me like that's what you want to do. And then your backup is to do this Associates of the Sciences degree. Like, that's your backup plan. Just by reading your letter, it seems like, you want to be in the music business. That's going to make you happy. So that's what I would do. And you just kind of have to try to shake off that whole idea that, you have to fall back on this college degree and this whole idea that you can't have a fun job. You can totally have a fun job. And it's going to be a job, and it's going to be work and all that shit, but you can totally have a fun job. You just keep applying for jobs that are fun, and you will have a fun job. And just stay there, and then that's it. And then, you know how to do it, dude. You eat your ramen noodles. Dude, if you wake up in the morning and you just have a fucking apple, that'll fill you up. And you'll be in great shape. You just pound some waters. You know the deal. Everybody fucking does this shit. I used to eat spaghetti. That was my thing. Spaghetti and a couple pieces of bread. And that was my dinner. That would fill me up. And I remember I didn't even have a table. I had a fucking chair that I'd turn around, and I used that as the table. And I just would fucking get the Prego, and I'd throw fucking spaghetti in there. I could make the fucking meal in my sleep. I didn't have to measure the water or anything. I just knew where to pour it in the pot. I just had it every fucking night. And I was so fucking sick of it. I remember, like, every once in a while, I would either take a taxi cab. I'd just be so tired after doing gigs, and just fucking every once in a while, I'd treat myself to a cab ride. Or I'd I'd actually order out. And when I say order out, I'm talking like ordering Chinese food. Because, when you first move to a city, you come from a small town, you move to a big city, you're on your own, and it's really on you. You're terrified to spend money. There's this creeping thing, you got to get your footing. Once, you've survived for 7-8 months, one day it just kind of hits you like, hey, I'm on my own here, and I'm making it. It's a great feeling, even though you got fucking spaghetti coming out of your goddamn ears. So good luck to you, sir. All right.